everyone, welcome back to my channel. Today's video is going to be a recipe for banana bread. A lot of you have been asking for a new recipe video or kind of like a baking with me video, so I thought I would do that today. It's a gorgeous morning, it's raining, so it's the perfect time to bake. It's so cozy. As you guys may or may not know, this is my Instagram. You can follow me along there. I'm always posting on my stories, and you can just follow me along there as well as here. Make sure you are subscribed and you like this video. If you want to see how to make banana bread, then keep on watching. Let's get into it. For this recipe, you're gonna want really ripe bananas to where they're basically brown, like you guys already saw. You're gonna want the bananas to be nice and mashed and really fluffy, like this, and you just use a fork. That's the easiest way to get it to the consistency that you need. And now we're gonna go ahead and add the rest of the ingredients. Now I'm going to add a 1/4 cup of canola oil to the bananas. That goes in. Then you're going to add a 1/4 cup of melted butter into the canola oil and the mashed bananas, and then just mix it up. Then you're going to add 2 eggs into one teaspoon of vanilla, but I always do more than that, so I'm just going to do a good splash of vanilla extract, and then this is the one that I use. Now I'm going to add 1/3 cup of regular sugar, just granulated sugar, and that's going to go in. And 1/3 cup of brown sugar. And then that's gonna go into the rest of the ingredients. And then we're just gonna go ahead and mix it all together. And if you get some little chunks of brown sugar, just kind of break them up so that everything is mixed completely. Okay, now everything is mixed all together. And now we're gonna add 2 cups of flour. I use gluten-free flour, but you can just use whatever type of flour you want to, all-purpose flour, if you're just using regular flour. But this is the one that I use. So I'm gonna put 2 cups. into the bowl. One and a half teaspoons of baking powder. Half a teaspoon of baking soda. Usually I don't like to put salt in my dessert recipes, but I will put a tiny sprinkle of salt into this one just because it brings out all the banana flavor and the vanilla, so there's an exception. And so I'm just gonna mix this all together, and I'll show you at what point I stop mixing because we're gonna add some buttermilk to this. But in this case, I'm using coconut milk, but you can use buttermilk if you want to, or any milk alternative. But I'm just gonna stop mixing right before the flour is all mixed together so we can add the buttermilk or the coconut milk. All right, so this is the point that I will stop mixing it, and as you can see, there's still some flour chunks in there and everything's not mixed together all the way. But I stop it at that point. That way it doesn't get overmixed, and sometimes it can get a little bit gummy and the mixture can get overworked. So I'm gonna stop here. Yeah. I'm using coconut milk. Like I said, you guys can use whatever milk alternative you want to. And this is the one that I like to use. So I'm gonna measure out a 1/4 cup of coconut milk, and I'm gonna pour it in. And then we're just gonna mix it all together. You just wanna fold it a couple of times once you add the milk into it, just so it doesn't get overmixed. And it can tend to get a little bit gummy, so you don't want to mix it too much. And this is what it looks like. All right, so now that I have the batter all mixed together, I am going to make the crumble now. For the top, I just have a 1/2 cup of flour and a 1/2 cup of brown sugar and a pinch of salt. And then I'm just gonna use a fork and mix that all together just until it's combined. And now I'm going to add a 1/4 cup of really cold butter, and I just cubed it, and I'm just gonna add it into flour mix. And then there's no real way of doing this. I'm gonna take my ring off. And basically you just take your hands and you kind of toss the butter around in the flour and the sugar till it's all coated, and then you just kind of mush the butter as long as it's coated in the flour, and you just mush it around until it becomes kind of like a coarse sand, or kind of like little pea size. The butter becomes smaller. I don't know how to describe it, but you just want to mix it all together until you can kind of pack it with your hands. So I'm gonna get to work on this, and I'll show you what it looks like when it's done. Yeah, what does coarse sand actually look like? I use that as a description, and I see that often in recipes, but like, what does that actually look like? So I'll show you what it's supposed to look like and you can come up with your own descriptive word for what you think it looks like. Oh, it looks so perfect. It's like coffee cake topping. Okay. All right, so I just finished mixing up the crumble topping and this is what it looks like. It's kind of, you can hold it together. I don't know how to describe it. So I'm gonna get a loaf pan and I'm gonna spray it with some nonstick spray and I will be right back. Okay, so I have my loaf pan that I sprayed with nonstick spray and now I'm gonna go ahead and take the batter and pour it into and then I always scrape the bowl to make sure that I get everything out because you'd be surprised at how much you can get out of what's left in the bowl when you're making muffins or cupcakes and you need like a little bit. You should scrape the bowl and you'll end up getting another scoop that you didn't think you could. So that's just a little thing that I always do. Plus you don't want to waste it. It can end up going in your nice loaf pan. So I'm just gonna use the corner of my spatula and just kind of move it around. Make sure it's nice and even. Like that. Oh, I almost dumped it out. But yeah, you want it to be nice and even like that. And then you're going to take your crumble and I'm going to just sprinkle some over the top. I think I'm just gonna sprinkle half of it and that will give it a nice different look, something new, kind of creative. So I'm just gonna take this. Oh, also if you want to go ahead and make this ahead of time, before you get started on your actual banana bread, then you would just make this and then you can keep it in the refrigerator and that way the little chunks of butter will stay nice and hard and they don't melt when they go into the oven. So that's something that you might want to keep in mind if you're planning on making this. So I'm just gonna go ahead and sprinkle it on and I'll show you what I'm doing up close. All right, now that I've got the topping on and I just put it on half and now it's ready to go. My oven is heated up at 325. So I'm gonna go ahead and put this into the oven. We're gonna bake it off and then the house is gonna be smelling like yummy banana bread. Okay, going into the oven. I'll show you guys what it looks like in a second, but I think I'm gonna let it go for another 10 or 15 minutes just to make sure that the middle is cooked, but it's looking perfect. Don't wanna open it for too long, but I'll just show you really quick, and here it is. Okay, so my timer just went off. So it was 45 minutes and then I did another 8 minutes and I have a feeling it's done because it smells amazing. All right, so as you can see, it's nighttime. I got a little sidetracked and had some things that I needed to do. But now I'm going to cut into the banana bread and show you what it looks like and maybe even give it a little taste. So that is my video for banana bread. I hope you make this recipe and I know you're gonna enjoy it. It's super simple. It turns out delicious every time. So that's the results that you're gonna get when you make this. If you follow the recipe that I have in the description, make sure you are subscribed and you like this video, and don't forget to follow me on Instagram. I have it in my description and I'll put it right here too. I'll see you in my next video. Thanks so much for watching. Bye everyone.